Jada was on a promo tour of her new book called Worthy. And in the book, she basically is breaking down the journey of her life. But most important, well, the one thing that has caught the people and the media's eye is the fact that she mentioned that her and Will have been separated for 7 years, and they've been living apart for those 7 years. So now, when and then she also mentions that they made a vow, or she made a vow that they will never get divorced. They will work out, whatever problems or issues that they are going through. So, yeah, so that's the topic of today. What is your take on Jada's story on her marriage?
Yes, guys, that's the story. I don't know. Considering where 2020 when this the Grammys
2021?
2021 was
Yeah,
it 2021?
Yeah, 2021.
And the Grammys
Yes.
Nangulom for Yobe to Chris Rock. For saying things about her wife, and there was also another subject, entanglement. Remember the entanglement part?
Which was before.
Yes.
So now, and then also there were talks. She was saying soulmate Tupac.
Yes.
So guys, I mean, I don't know, Hector, what you think. I really don't know.
Look, I do a bit of story writing, and recently I was writing something about unrequited love.
Sure. And can you break that down?
And I suspect, like love that's not reciprocated.
Oh yes.
And I think this might be a classic case that the love on the sides, it reminds me of someone once saying, "I love him, but I'm not in love with him." So I love him, I care about him, and all of these things. But it's not. I know it in love with. Hence, you hear your wife saying, "My soulmate is." And it's
in
hard.
Fact,
and it's even it's hard to compete against a long dead person.
No, you can't.
Actually, I found myself thinking of James Ingram singing "I Don't Have a Heart."
In fact, that's a good one.
I could almost see Jada saying, "I don't have a heart to hurt you, but not the way you want me to."
There's actually another story that came up just before the show. I was going through like the different videos of this whole saga yake. And I don't know if you remember in Living Color. There's a program, there was a show Living by the Winans Brothers.
Oh, okay,
And then apparently there's a guy named Tommy Lee. He used to impersonate.
Oh, Tommy Lee also had something to say.
Yes. So apparently he was in one of the channels is Shannon.
Shannon.
On Club Shay Shay. And he was saying that no, apparently he kissed or tried to kiss Jada, and then Jada wayobalsela Will. About what had happened. So apparently now he's on this trailer. He was doing a movie or a show, whatever that was doing, but he was on a trailer on site. And Will came to basically confront him. I don't like what you're doing. So he had to play it down because Will is like tall and he was sitting down and is short and small. So basically he was like, no, there was something that happened but didn't happen type of thing. So Jada, I don't know how she wants to, like how she does things. Like Ingati, she does things to spite, or I don't know, it's her way of getting excitement. And yes, man, there's just something I'm not getting about how she's been doing things. Because Chris Rock also phoned her and asked her out when he heard the rumors that they were divorcing.
Yeah.
Oh, so there was something to So there was something to
No, I think probably from now onwards, everyone is going to stay away from.
Oh no, they won't.
No, they won't.
The same way you hear the phenomenon of bad boys. There's also that phenomenon of bad girls.
Bad girls, yeah. Once that good girl's gone bad, she's gone forever.
you know, and I mean, as well as you've got people who've got a thing for bad boys, you also have got men who've got a thing for bad girls as well.
They're
So
frisky.
they're not gonna be, that won't necessarily turn them away.
No, in fact, it was like
I was a bit surprised. I think I was saying it earlier before we came on air, that for quite a while it seemed like Jada was willing to take a back seat and you know, thrust her husband in the limelight and always speaking positively about Will and what Will stands for and everything, you know, kind of a dutiful wife. Kind of, you know. So I didn't see this coming. I did know about the history with Tupac and all of that, but I thought she kind of settled down.
After he died.
Everyone would think, but for me, like that subject, but
no, I think it's that, but remember I read something to you guys the other Sunday about a poem that she had written to Tupac. So Indebo was like very deep, and apparently there was I think I remember reading Kutwa Uwil Waimongan Tupac or something to that effect.
Yeah, I remember that.
Couldn't be.
Look, Will no Tupac, gangster, so I would understand Ulandu Will's position at that particular time.
But Will was a rapper,
but he was a chilled one. He was not a gangster.
Why are good John Legend? So I don't know. For me, being separated for 7 years, like ingati, like this thing to me, it's more like an open marriage than being on separation.
It seems,
it seems so. Like the long-standing Roma that they have an open marriage, I think it's really true. Because how do you separate for 7 years?
And then I started thinking, oh, they're gonna make millions again after all of this.
Yeah,
no, definitely, definitely.
No, it's true. But I think, I mean, in terms of and this is we throwing us now to you guys who are listening. I mean, if you had a wife who, you know, behaves like this, what would you do? I mean, famous or not? I mean, definitely if you are not famous, probably, guys would have already, filed for divorce. But there is definitely something to be said about, for me, an element of mental health issues that I think probably playing around in this particular space here.
Well, maybe even on the part of both of them.
Just one of them. I think so. I mean, because how do you maintain such? This is not a normal relationship.
No, it's not. I remember talking about the past actor. Will was being interviewed by David Letterman in one of his sit downs, and he mentioned that his father was abusive at some point. And I think in his older years, when he was not like incapacitated but needed assistance for certain things, apparently there was a time that he wanted to push him down the stairs. I'm not sure if he ultimately did it. I can't remember the full detail, but I think there's trauma on both him and Jada, with Jada having been brought up by parents who had addiction issues and so I think it's wounded people and not knowing how to deal, or they create this world that they think or they wish they would have had, this perfection that their ideology in their minds when they were young, and they're trying to make it a reality in their marriage. I don't know. There's just something. There's a lot of misalignment.
And it did get me thinking. Perhaps some of the behavior we saw with Jaden and all of this. Because they would be intimately, aware of what's happening in their parents' lives.
Yes.
Yes. I just wondered whether that some of those things might not have been just phases of growth, but actually some response to some of the weirdness in the marriage, in their parents' marriage.
Spokie is bringing in a different aspect, maybe that I think also might be important, the issue of psychological issues that I think may be embedded in this type of relationship, issue of wanting to present a perfect type of relationship, and that then maybe along the way, and you mentioned it, Hector, the fact that she was trying to push Will out there and all of those things. So along the way, maybe at some point there's a break point, and maybe they've reached that break point now where all of that is weighing in now that for years they've been, and Hollywood will do that to you.
In fact, I did watch them on a couple of shows, Oprah and other shows.
Yes.
Being interviewed basically as sort of like a model family. And for them to share with the world how they raise their children and all that sort of thing, and the kind of model that they're using. So they really were the perfect family scenario you're talking about.
The Cosbys.
The
actual show, not the show, not the person,
we know. So you guys, if you want to kind of join us in this discussion, you know, you are welcome to do that. And we have a WhatsApp page 066-137-2723 066-137-2723. Put your part or your piece in this discussion. It's been trending the whole week, and a lot of people have been talking about this particular relationship. And what do you think of that particular relationship? Are you in a relationship where you have maybe it's at a breaking point, or maybe it's not a breaking point in your life? I don't know. But Will Smith and Jada says they've been separated since 2016.
7 years separation.
Yeah, and they have been going to the Oscars and all of these things. So we've been seeing them together for that whole part, and yet.
But the strange thing is, as much as she, I think Kuba Ingomdana, like I think it's August most that blew the, the entanglement. Because we haven't had anything from Will's side, whom is he been entangled with.
Well, there's that too. I was going to say, what's Will's story in all of this?
Exactly, because in fact, when the entanglement story came out, there's that comedian, Lunel, the very funny lady, she normally has blonde hair. And she was saying people are busy talking about Jada and the entanglement got August Alsina. What about the women that he's been with? Yeah, but and then when the person was like following up on that, like, no, I'm just saying, I'm not gonna go into detail. But what about the, so
on Will's side, maybe there's been some. It's possible though. I mean, there was, if you remember the movie that Will did, Focus. That movie Focus. The lady who played now Barbie, Margot Robbie.
Yes.
There was rumors that they had something.
While they were still
they were doing that movie Focus. So it's possible.
Hollywood.
Okay, guys. That's our discussion point there on the relationships. But beyond 3, we will go into current affairs, and then beyond 4, we will touch on which I think is the biggest topic of the week. Above all news that's been happening this week, Gaza-Israel issue, and the history of Hamas. We will look into. Is Hamas a terrorist organization like it's been painted to be? And do you agree with that? Do you agree with what Hamas did in Israel? And also, what's your stand on what Israel is now doing in Gaza? So there's been a lot of discussions during the weekend. I learned a lot also in trying to understand that particular, history between those two sort of nationalities. So in the meantime, we'll go to we'll do some music. No news. We'll do some music. Feels right, Lima. That song is great.